The San Diego Padres are lousy, plain and simple. That is where we at. Doesn't
all right.
mean...
Here's your podcast. Good job, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.
See you next week.
We can't say it any better than that, Darnay. You succinctly and beautifully summed it up. Chef's kiss. Let's go have a drink.
Oh, that sounds good. I think we could all use one after watching this series and 2 series against the Phillies that ended in sweeps in the matter of a week and a half. Doesn't mean they'll be lousy forever, but for the time being, this is a rough watch. This is the On Friar podcast. He is Derek Togerson. I am Darnay Tripp, and we'll spend the next 50 or so minutes banging our heads against a proverbial wall, trying to figure out what's wrong with this team and if there is a fix. It's got to be out there somewhere.
Perhaps even a literal wall. You don't know. That might be less painful than watching this team trying to swing the bat.
I've got the nice padded, insulated walls here in the podcast studio, so this is a great place to do it.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Because then you are saving yourself from an impact injury. That'd be good. So when you get the concussion, also you're not bleeding.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah. You don't want that.
It's
one thing to have your brain rattling around.
See, I've got whiteboards and just straight drywall. So yeah, I think you got me beat on that one.
As long as you miss the studs.
Glass. You got glass behind you in the door. Don't put your head through the glass. That can be a bad thing.
Yeah. We won't do that. We won't do that. We'll resort from any sort of violent outlashing of our frustrations, to put it clumsily, over the next 50 minutes or so. But that's, if you're a Padres fan and you're feeling that level of frustration where you would like to send a fist or something through a drywall surface, I get it. I can certainly understand. Don't do it.
Refrain. Violence is never the answer.
No.
Refrain, you scream into your pillow, maybe go to the gym, do a little heavier on the bench, just get a little of that frustration out.
Get a jog, go for a jog, do some box breathing or something, get the heart rate down.
Yoga. Yoga is good, a little meditation, get on the Peloton app and do a meditation is nice.
What I've been doing?
We have lots of things we can do here. This is awesome. And all of them involve probably the same ability to score a run as the Padres have showed us the last few games. So, yeah, kumbaya, hallelujah.
Have you played Mahjong?
I have, yes. It's actually surprisingly calming.
Yeah, I swear. I was playing just some clumsy web version for a while, and then I got served an ad for an app, and I was like, well, why haven't I just been playing on the app? And I've been playing it every night before I go to bed. I swear it's the best sleep I've been getting consistently for the last week. I don't know if there's anything to this, but rather than your typical end of the night doom scrolling, just to play Mahjong mindlessly for a few minutes, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, not having social media, I don't do the doom scrolling, so I don't know what that's like. But
good for you.
I talk to my wife. My wife is usually we just fall asleep together. It's nice.
Yeah, we don't have that luxury most nights, sadly. So
yeah, this is you have other influences in the house that I do not.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's she works a normal schedule and I work this late afternoon, evening schedule. So she's a few hours into her restful night of sleep by the time I get home. So.
Just wake her up, say hi. She'd love that.
Yeah, I'm sure she would every night. Just get an elbow in the ribs. Hey, let's talk.
Okay, I didn't say assault her. I said
wake her up, nudge,
honey,
nudge,
honey, I'm home. Hey, just hey, I want to let you know I'm here. Oh, since you're up, you want to talk about work? You want to say? I didn't go in there and try to go people's elbow on her.
Light nudge. Hey, oh, are you awake? Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, honey, what woke you up? I'm sorry. It was the dog, wasn't it? So anyway, I need to have something to tell you.
Yeah. Let's watch a show or something, or just kind of lay in bed and talk, catch up on each other's days. That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Anyhow, well, in lieu of that, I've been playing Mahjong and been sleeping great. Anyways.
I love how we've been vamping to do anything except talk about the Padres here.
It's inevitable, isn't it? We have to do it.
Yeah. Right. I don't want to. I know you don't want to. We're contractually obligated to do such. So, crap.
Well, if you want a place to watch the World Cup, NBA Finals, NHL Finals, golf, other Major League Baseball teams, go to OG's. Tons of locations around San Diego County, bunch of TVs, great food, awesome beer list, tons of specials all the time, always updating their menu. Great spot. So if you want to watch sports, whether or not it's the
With
Padres,
or without your slumbering misses.
with or without your slumbering misses, go to OG's. Appreciate OG's, all they do for On Friar and the NBC 7 sports team. We got to talk about the Padres. So, without further ado, the welcome music. It is the On Fire podcast brought to you by NBC 7. He is Derek Togerson. I am Darnay Tripp, joining you high in spirits, enthusiastic for the opportunity to talk Padres for the next 45 or so minutes after a second series sweep at the hands of the Phillies. Here we are, Derek Togerson. Hey, Samuel in the chat. Thanks for being with us. Double D's love the banter. Let's talk about the Pods. And then there's Javier. Padres suck. So there you go.
Dude, Javier, please just spell check your stupid, nasty comments, please. Capitalize Padres and it suck. It's singular. My God. They do suck, yes, but at least please do it grammatically correct. Also, I totally agree with this. This is your public service announcement. Sam, don't abuse women.
Sure.
I got agreed 100%. Do not do that no matter how frustrated you get with anything. Never ever any reason to hit another human being, especially a female.
Just to be clear, it was a light nudge in the midsection, just to be like, "Hey, are you awake? You still sleeping?" That's all it was.
But why with the elbow?
Let's not get carried away. It's when you go like, "Hey." You don't nudge somebody with your shoulder.
No, you kind of go like, hey, you pet gently with your hands. They're more tactile that way.
All right. Enough of this. Padres are no good, Derek. And last week I was like, all right, positive things. 6 hits for Sanchez, bunch of opportunities. Tatis is trending, and for a brief moment on Saturday, I looked like I might know what I'm talking about. He's still doing all right, but it's not like the power has come back into full force after getting one on the board on Saturday.
You did a full breakdown on with Sammy Levin on Sports 9 San Diego. That was fun.
That was fun. You can find that on the NBC7 YouTube page. That clip is available in the On Friar playlist, which is where you might find this podcast on a regular basis. And where we always post our great Padres related interviews from Sports Night. Jackson Merrill, he had a couple hits against Christopher Sanchez. Maybe he's starting to liven up. Hey, drove one in yesterday, the homer today. So maybe
against lefties.
How many homers does Manny Machado have over the course of the last few weeks? If I told you that Manny Machado had like 5 or so homers over the course of the last 2.5, 3 weeks, probably be like, oh, he must be rounding into form. Well, the power's there, occasionally, but the rest of it, not so much. So here we are kind of roughly in the same spot that we were last week, just with one more win and a whole bunch more losses.
Yeah, and this is what they do is they tease us. That one win against the Nationals, is on Friday night. They go up, they hit a couple bombs. Everything looks good. Everybody looks fun. They score 7 runs. They're going, all right, they got away from Petco Park. The offense is going to round into shape. Here it comes. And then it disappears again. 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 4 runs. It's like, what are you guys doing? Again, it just goes back to the approach. And I know this is a very small sample size, John. Can we talk about Jason Bowen for a second?
Sure.
Because I think his at-bats were emblematic of the Padres' issues. Okay. I don't want to go. He's got 8 plate appearances, 5 strikeouts. All those strikeouts, how many of those were swinging at pitches actually in the strike zone?
Were any of them?
Exactly. I don't think any of them were. It was all spin off the plate. If I was sitting there watching the game with my wife when he was facing Yohan Duran, first 2 pitches, spin outside the zone. First one was a couple inches, swings through it. Second one was 4 inches, swings through it. I said, this next one's going to be a foot off the plate. He better not swing at it. Sure enough, next one, 9 inches off the plate. So I said, kid, if you keep swinging at that, they're going to keep throwing it out there. Spit on it. Now, again, I don't know if that is him being really overly eager to make his long-awaited major league debut, or the Padres are not preparing these guys for what's coming, and they simply don't understand how pitchers trying to attack them. That, I think, was not being ready for what's coming and not having any kind of an idea of how these pitchers are attacking him. That's because it's not just him. He's like an extreme example. It's all these guys. Like, how many times have we seen them take a called strike 3 on something they were obviously looking for something different? You know, I'm telling you, dude, it's like they are either guessing or they think they know what's coming and they're straight up wrong. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's the game planning. They are woefully unprepared stepping into the batter's box.
Well, and like, regardless of the specifics, I feel like we've been saying something similar to this since like the opening series of the season. It's like, whatever it is, like, it's somewhere along those lines of not being prepared, not being able to adjust. What is the game plan like? Do you know what this guy's throwing you? Making sure, you know, Jace Bowen is prepared for what he's seeing. And you might swing at that first slider that's way off the plate. But then shouldn't that kind of be in your head? Like, okay, they've shown it to me on the iPad or the whatever. Like, this is what he's throwing. This is where he likes to throw these pitches. This is how he likes to attack a righty, yada, yada, yada. Like, okay. I waved to that one. Like, now I know. I saw it. And then the second one's further off the plate. And the third one is even further off the plate. Yeah, you're seeing stuff like that, like, fairly consistently. And I thought about that with Manny Machado in the 4th inning today against Zach Wheeler, where I don't know if it was a 2-seamer, ends up right middle. Now, Zach Wheeler's nasty. He's really, really good. Started off the plate and ends up in. But this is not your first time facing Zach Wheeler. You know what these guys' offerings are. You know what their put out pitches are. Like, you have some idea how they're going to attack you. And it always seems like they are a step behind in that regard. Yes.
Great call. Great call. Manny is a guy who's seen so many pitches and so many pitchers, and he's actually been very good throughout his career at guessing what's coming. Again, as we talked about, his problems, I think, are physical more than anything else. He looks like he aged 10 years and 2 months. But he kind of has at least a decent idea what's coming. He just can't handle it. All these other guys, they're just clueless. Fernando Tatis Jr. taking fastballs right down the middle on for strike 3. And I'm going, what are you looking for? What's going on here? It's a 3-2 pitch. You know, you've shown that you can't catch up to a fastball. Why are you looking for off speed? Let me see if I still have this in here. Just go ahead and say something, Darnay. I think I grabbed something the other day, and I want to see if I still have it or if I took it out of the house.
Well, and at some point, you know, I don't know if it was after that strikeout against Wheeler, I have, you know, tweeted, why is Manny even in the lineup today? And I think this still holds up from a rest standpoint. But the fact that he is struggling so mightily, they're playing today, wrapping up the series, flying cross country, picking right back up Friday against the Mets. So a tough turnaround, no day off until Thursday. And I even thought this earlier in the week, like, Thursday's a perfect day to sit Manny Machado. We all agree going into this year, he needs rest. He needs more days down. And you saw a little bit of that early in the year. He played every single game based on my, you know, quick look in all of May. I don't think he's had a day off since April. So this is the perfect opportunity to sit him and disguise, like, it's not a true benching, but give him a day off while he's struggling under the guise of, we just want to get him to rest. This was normally scheduled, has nothing to do with anything. Of course, then he comes up and hits a 2-run homer, as has been kind of the sort of pattern that he's on. Not doing a whole lot, hitting a home run. It's been very, very strange. And I don't know if we've seen a stretch like this, like Manny Machado. But it is really, really bizarre. And I don't know what to do with him at this point. I also felt like, okay, it's probably worth dropping him in the lineup at a certain point. But then when he gives you a 2-run homer. That becomes a little bit tougher to rationalize, especially when nobody else is doing a whole lot to really feel like, okay, yes, our best 1, 2, 3, 4 are clearly without Manny Machado right now. And it's the same thing as like the leadoff conversation with Fernando Tatis Jr. like early in the year. I don't think it seems kind of moot at this point, but you could make a case for, Fernando at his best should be hitting somewhere else in the lineup, or when he's struggling should not be hitting leadoff. Well, who's the alternative? And so I think that is the tough position that they're in with Freddie Fermin and with, all these different spots where it's like, well, it's not like there's options. Nick Castellanos, you get rid of Nick Castellanos for who? For Samad Taylor? I mean,
Yep.
I don't know if Jace Bowen ends up being like, is it really Jace Bowen for Nick Castellanos? But Ramon Laureano happened to need the IL trip because it was Laureano, and then they get rid of Nick Castellanos. So it makes me think like it's truly for Nick Castellanos. They just had to give Laureano some time down. But like, is that really solving anything at this point? And we were also robbed of Nick Castellanos pinch hitting down a run in the 9th inning in Philly yesterday, which could have been fun.
Yeah, well, the fact they passed him over in that opportunity, that showed you everything you needed to know.
Well, no, this was yesterday. This was yesterday after they had DFA'd him.
After they did, well, yeah, but the night before though, they brought Ty France in instead.
Yeah.
So I got my days mixed up there. The Castellanos thing, I honestly don't know if this is an overreaction based on the fact the veteran isn't doing what you hoped he would, or an understanding of what's happening and that he never fully got comfortable in the role that they gave him and they had to move on. It's one, and I honestly don't know which one it is. I'd like to think it's probably the second one, but I mean, Bowen and Taylor, they're both younger. They are faster. They're better defensively. They're more versatile defensively. And if that's going to be the case, and there's not a substantial drop off in offensive potential, then you go with the younger, more athletic, versatile pieces. It gives you more opportunities to pinch run late in games. It gives you more opportunities for defensive replacements late in games. It makes you a better ball club overall if the offense is not. If Castellanos is just raking or really good whenever he was in there, then you can DH him. Like then that move makes no sense. But he wasn't doing that. So is it still a little soon, a third of a year, to say it's not going to work and he can't grow into that role and do something? Maybe. I don't know. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah. I could see it. I mean, he still probably turned in the best at-bat of the year, against the Cardinals, to steal that game. But I'm at a bit of a loss, and I also feel like, all the things you say is like, Manny said it, I think, after the last Phillies series, like just need one to drop, Well, he's had a bunch drop over the fence, and it hasn't truly gotten him going to like the type of hitter where we know where he doesn't have to be so home run reliant. That's the good thing about Manny Machado. He's got the big swing, but he also can kind of pepper you and just kind of, keep the line moving a little bit. When
was the last time he hit a ball with authority to the right field?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not using the whole field right now. He's trying to cheat on, and again, he's trying to cheat on everything. I think because his bat slowed down. So you're trying to get out more in front of everything, and when you're doing that, you're not keeping your bat inside the ball. You're not using all fields because you're trying to catch up to stuff.
Yeah.
Can I show something real fast?
Sure.
A little show and tell, and I have not fully. I'm not even know if I should do this or not, but
I'm nervous.
When I was at Petco Park for the end of the A's Padres series, I picked this up. Okay, I'm not going to show you who it is. This is a scouting report on the A's from the pitchers. Okay, Cortez, Kurtz, it's Langoliers, it's all their hitters, right? And it shows you first pitch, are they aggressive? 2 strikes, are they aggressive or are they passive? What do they do? How do you get them out? It is when you have 2 strikes, you can go to a curveball slider. When you want to get a ground ball, you go to the slider. It's everybody's a rooker, aggressive all the time. You see? This is what they have. This is what they go through to get ready for everyone. This is probably why Ruben Niebla is one of the best in the business. He gives his pitcher something that looks like this, where when you know runner scoring position, Zach Geloff is very aggressive. First pitch, he's not. You can get him with a 2-seamer both sides, 4-seamer down and away.
It's not
Slider,
giving away too many of the
you go to the
secrets,
changeup only if needed.
Let's not give away too many of the secrets. Let's not give away too many of the secrets.
Yeah, but this is all stuff that we already know. And we're not going to face Zach Gill-off again the rest of the year unless he gets traded anyway, so we're all good. With 2 strikes, you can get a sweeper or a curveball. Okay? With Nick Kurtz, 2 strikes, you don't throw a changeup. Right? Like this is all. And then there's even more to it. Right? Where it's like this is the backside of the sheet. This is everything. You're keeping score. You know, slider goes here on first pitch, and then what happened to it? But then also like chase. How can you get him chased? How often does he chase the 4-seam? How often does he chase the 2-seam? It's all this data is sitting right here for the pitchers. And the pitchers are good. What's the equivalent for the offense? Do they have anything like
a copy? Yeah. I have no idea.
You know, like can we do this? Can we get these kinds of things? Right? Look, it's got heat maps of these guys. Where you do and don't throw them.
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff is like essentially what's on Savant.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also with their own people, with their own stuff. Like it's like they take the Savant stuff and then customize it to every one of their pitchers. And that's not just like this is just for one pitcher.
Yeah.
Right? This is every single guy gets this. Like, what can you do with your arsenal against these guys when you have to come up and face them? Everybody has that. I don't see the hitters getting this. I don't see, like, if you just broke it down in such simplistic terms like this, and the hitters could go up there taking things in this kind of more simplistic approach, wouldn't that give them look like they're having more comfortability and success in the batter's box? When you can eliminate 2 pitches when you get the 2 strikes because you know that this is what this guy's going to do, instead of thinking about which of the 4 is coming at me now. And then guess what? If you get struck out by Mason Miller because he throws you a changeup and it's the 8th changeup he's thrown in the last 2 years, tip your cap and move on. Right? You're not looking for the changeup. He's not going to throw it. He got you. Great. Oh, well, who cares? You got to look for one of the 2 big things. You're eliminating the changeup. The other thing I don't see this offense doing is cutting the plate in half. All right, early in counts. What you do is, what I mean by that is, and who said this? 1 second. I just saw this in a comment. Who was it? Okay, Chip Rocks is back. Says, big takeaway from today's game regarding Fernando Tatis Jr., swinging and making it out on the first pitch 3 of his 4 at-bats. Sheesh.
One of which came right after Bryce Johnson.
We see this happening a lot. And what they are not doing is it's called cutting the plate in half, right? First pitch, up 2-0, up 3-1, early in the count. You say, all right, I'm either looking inside or I'm looking outside, right? I'm going to look for a fastball on the inside. I'm looking for a sweeper to the outside, right? And if I get that, I know I'm ready for it. If I get something else, I'm spitting on it and moving on. That way you are dictating what you are going to swing at versus what the pitcher is going to give you. And if he throws it in your zone, you are fully prepared for that. But now with 2 strikes, that all goes out the window. 2 strikes, you got to protect everything. But early in counts, when these guys are ahead in the count, they are not picking spots and ambushing pitches like other offenses do. I never see them do it. And I don't know why.
Yeah, one of those quick outs from Tatis. I think was it was the double play. You know, Bryce Johnson gets the first hit off Zach Wheeler in whatever inning that was. So man on, 1 out, and then Tatis first pitch swinging grounds into double play that ends the inning.
Yep, on a pitch is 3 inches off the plate.
Yeah, I'm at a total loss. I have no clue. And again, like, one of the issues was starters adapting or switching up the game plan on the Padres and them not being able to adapt to that, or them not being prepared for that. And so, you know, that's part of the case as well. Like you said, like Mason Miller throwing you a changeup, you know, you can write off a couple pitches, like chances are they're not going to throw it. But then when all of a sudden they're starting to go to that pitch because they're having some success, are you able to adapt? You know, we're seeing a different type of Logan Webb tonight than we have in the past. Now we expected to. Like, that was the case, I think, the first time they played the Giants this year.
Yeah,
And
that's
then there's also
yeah, that's just it. It's like, and then Craig Stammen came out and said, well, he was pitching as differently than he normally does. Okay, then follow that thread.
Yeah.
Follow that pattern. Baseball's patterns. Life is patterns. Find the pattern and go with that. We're not splitting atoms here.
And I just don't again, I was kind of hammering the positivity last week. I think what has me concerned is you have seen good things from Merrill. You have seen good things from Tatis. You have seen good things from Manny, but it's not nothing's magically clicking. Oh, as soon as Tatis hits a home run, he's going to reel off a few of them. That's always the conventional thinking. Not the case. I'm sure there's good reasons for that you could probably explain to us. Manny Machado, maybe it's the bat speed, whatever. He's given you home runs, but he's got one of the worst batting averages, if not the worst, in Major League Baseball amongst qualified hitters. Jackson Merrill seems to be coming along a little bit, and maybe he's on a good trajectory, but it's not enough that it's turning losses into wins or that you feel super confident, when he or anybody's at the plate. And the fact is nobody's hitting. Xander Bogaerts had an 813 OPS May 6th in 23 games, 173 average with a 456 OPS. He's got one double and one home run during that stretch. So 2 extra base hits over the course of 90 plate appearances. Gavin Sheets, who homered yesterday. Last 13 games, 182 average, 558 OPS. 16 strikeouts in 44 at-bats. So, 35% K rate. Miguel Andujar, last 12 games, 159 average, 395 OPS. It's...
Well, you just outlined a major problem, Darnay. Early in the year, it was Sheets and France and Andujar who were carrying this offense, right? And people were saying, oh, well, when Jackson and Manny and Toddy get going, this offense is going to be lighting it up. And I don't think a lot of people thought, well, is this sustainable for an entire season for Gavin Sheets and Ty France and Miguel Andujar? We're finding out that it's not. Now they're again going to bounce back, and they're going to have very good, solid seasons, but they're not going to be, crushing balls consistently the way that they were for that, month-long stretch early in the year. They're going to hit a downturn. That their whole careers have been that way. They're very good ball players, but they're not all-stars for that very reason. So now that those guys have kind of cooled off, this is when you need your stars to show back up again. And there's the issue. The stars, once again, not showing up consistently enough when the guys who were carrying them need to be carried.
Yeah. And it was a question of what's sustainable. The stars' struggles, certainly that's not sustainable. And if these other guys, if their performance to start the year isn't sustainable, that's okay, because this is eventually going to pick up over here. And, it was 2 weeks or so ago when Manny Machado said, I don't care if I'm struggling, the team's winning games. At some point things are going to flip and we're going to be carrying them. Well, I hope you're concerned about your struggles now, because the team is not winning games. 1-9 for the first time since 2023, and we all know what that 2023 season was like. Now, 2024 was a different type of year to start the season. It was more the highs weren't as high, the lows weren't as low. It was just kind of trading wins for losses, sort of spinning your wheels a little bit until they got going. They did have a 1-7 stretch right before they went 43-19. So if we're trying to be positive here, these things can turn. There's no guarantee. I'm just struggling to figure out what the thing is that will actually cause them to turn around at this point.
See, that's the problem. The team you're mentioning, you could see signs that there's something there, right? You could see the pop, you could see the bullpen, you could see something, you could see stuff that kind of makes you go, you know what? If they put this all together, this is gonna be really good. And this year, I don't see it. They're at a -10 run differential, even though they're 4 games over 500. That doesn't jive. That doesn't make any sense. Right. So, unless the entire offense has a come to Jesus moment or they trade for Yordan Alvarez, I don't see a whole lot changing right now. It's too many bad at bats, more than a third of the way through the season, too many bad approaches. I don't see what is the finger that flips the switch. I don't get it. I don't know what I don't get it.
Yeah. Let's get to some comments here because a bunch of people in the chat, and we love to hear from you, from our buddy Chip Rocks. The Padres losing day in, day out no longer induces my rage. I'm now at the point that when they blow a lead, make boneheaded base running miscues, or just lose, all I can say is, yep.
Yeah, I don't know if a general ennui is better than rage.
I think the concerning note is, like, I think you've seen, Tuesday, Monday, great example, Tatis overrunning second and getting thrown out there when you have a chance to have 2 on with 2
How
outs.
many knuckleheaded base running moves has that guy made?
Well, and then watch the whole Washington series getting picked off, the strike him out, throw him out on a couple occasions. It does feel like, and Stammen was asked about this and seemed to kind of fess up that that's something they're having to guard against right now, is the offensive struggles impacting the rest of the game, and maybe playing recklessly or with a sense of desperation more than they should, because they're like, I think Tatis rounding second, probably like still a knuckleheaded thing to do, but that might be a symptom of that. Like, maybe if I can get to third here, gives us a chance to get something going. And overrunning second, trying to be aggressive. And that's always been part of his DNA. Sometimes he looks like a genius, and sometimes he looks really bad like he did on Monday. But that feels like something that somebody does because they're like, we got to get anything going. And so maybe an extra 90 feet will help.
Yeah, but you never make the final out of an inning at third base.
Yeah.
Tried and true baseball rule. First out at third base, last out at third base. You don't do it.
From Lauren, hey guys, well, this sucks and sucks in perpetuity. Honestly, Machado and Tatis' horrible approach were the worst today. Team needs to be seriously consider selling, in all caps, because something is seriously wrong. Don't know if I'm there yet.
What can they sell?
Well, we don't have to be there yet, but I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah. They can't sell Manny. No one wants that contract. Can't sell Toddy. No trade clause. Merrill, King, Miller.
Please no.
Like they've got pieces. I know. Darnay, if we're going to go down this road, we have to explore it. This is our job as journalists. We have to explore these things. So if you're going to sell, who can you sell? You can sell Merrill, although you're selling low at the moment. You can sell Miller. You're selling very high at the moment. You can sell King.
So, yeah. I mean, if we're playing this game, you could sell Morhone.
Yeah, although something's just not quite. He's just slightly off. You could still sell Estrada. You could sell Adam. You could sell. Can't sell Bogart. Someone wants that contract. You could. Yeah. Now the things you can sell are Ethan Salas, which you're doing that to try and get better at the major league level. So yeah. Yep.
From Chris, Manfred stating that the sale is not ready for a vote yet. It'll be very unfortunate if sale isn't done before the trade deadline. I saw that. I thought that was weird. I think everybody's expectation was that owners meeting, I think, is it this week? I think this is from Evan Drellick of the Athletic. Let's see if I can find the tweet just so I don't misquote him. But I thought that was the expectation. Here we go. Rob Manfred on the San Diego Padres ownership change, which requires approval of other MLB owners. Quote, things are moving along with the sale, not ready for a vote today. It'll probably be at some point this summer.
No. Why? What's
like
the rationale for delaying it?
Feels like the Brian Windhorst meme. Why is that? I don't know. I like, again, this has been like, we've known what direction this is headed now for a couple months now or so. We've seen them at games. They've been around. I don't know why it wouldn't be up for a vote yet. And I think, to Chris's point here, there's something exciting about this new ownership group, because you've heard, I can't say where these reports are coming from, but that, there's a chance that AJ Preller will have some resources to play with once they take over, at least early on, maybe some willingness to spend a bit. Trade deadline is a perfect opportunity to do that. So now I'm sure he can have those conversations with them. And I don't know if that would preclude him from making moves, the whatever moves he feels compelled to make based on their willingness to spend a little bit more, but it's all a little bit clearer and more cut and dry if they're the ones in the driver's seat and off we go. It's no longer kind of a Siler thing. So it just kind of muddies the whole thing up a little bit.
I just had a horrible thought.
Uh-oh.
No, like this is okay. Follow me down this rabbit hole just a little bit. Okay. And then it'll make sense in a second. And if it is, then screw Major League Baseball owners even more than they should be screwed. When that whole sale thing came down, I remember I was in the clubhouse up in Anaheim, and I was talking to a lot of the guys, and they were saying, and the whole consensus was, this sale just knocked the owners' negotiating legs out from under them. Because all they have to do, all the players have to do is go to the owners and say, oh, you think this is getting too expensive? Well, San Diego in the number 30 media market actually put money into their product, and the fans showed up and they flipped their asset for $4 billion. So all you people have to do is start trying instead of like you jackholes with the Marlins who are not spending any money. You're just pocketing all the proceeds, and everyone knows that, so they don't show up, and then you cry poor. Well, you're crying poor because you don't try, and everyone knows that. So if you want to, you can go ahead and put things into the major league roster, and then you can flip your asset for $4 billion. So I'm wondering if there are enough owners out there who are like, I'm not doing that. I'm not approving something that's going to kill our negotiating power with this whole CBA thing coming up. I wonder if they're having trouble getting these guys to understand that the Padres last year, the Rays sold for what, 1.7 billion in a bigger market in Tampa. Now they have a terrible stadium situation, but they never put any money into their team. They had everybody. Wander Franco was the one guy they tried to invest in, and that was a massive disaster. So they just don't do it. The fans there is a revolving door. They can never get behind knowing anybody, right? As good as they've been, as successful as they've been, like everyone knows, they're dealing with kids all the time. So nobody goes to the games because they don't invest money. The Padres in a smaller market, more than doubling that. So now the owners, I wonder if they're looking at it and going, yeah, you know what? If we approve that, then we're never going to get our salary cap. And this is the last chance we're ever going to have to do that. And so too many of these guys are going, nope. Instead of looking at it and going, wow, our asset just got exponentially more expensive because when one house in the neighborhood sells for a big price, every other house in the neighborhood gets more lucrative. They're looking at it as going, we can't have a salary cap now. Now, this is kind of a conspiracy theorist-ish, but Darnay, you got to admit, with some of these guys and their egos, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I would say just the fact that, they got that sort of valuation and there was a competitive, pursuit of the franchise and it ended up at 3.9 or whatever it was, like, that in and of itself says something, and that is irrefutable from ownership. And I think the players could still use that as a bargaining chip regardless, because like that happened. They agreed to that. We were just kind of waiting for the vote. And I would hope, who knows with Rob Manfred, but I would hope, him, like he's supposed to be the adult in the room and he's the one kind of leading the owners, that he'd say, okay, guys, like I get it. I understand where you're coming from, but like we can't hold up a transaction for bargaining purposes ahead of a CBA negotiation. Like we're playing way too dirty at this point. The Sidlers are trying to get out of it.
He's a labor lawyer from New York. All he does is play dirty.
I understand. I would just think, again, rose-colored glasses here. I would just think it's his responsibility to be like, we have to send this thing to a vote. Like, are the Sidlers going to just stick around as owners through the first half of next year until, like, is this going to be in limbo until
the trade deadline? I'm not so worried about, because I talked to an attorney who actually has been part of these kinds of things before for a couple of stories. And he said, if this is not done by the trade deadline, what has happened in the past is the current ownership simply goes to the new ownership and says, hey, are you cool if we do, because you're going to be inheriting all of this. Are you cool if we do this? Send off these prospects for this guy. You're going to have to pay this much over this amount of time. And then the new owners go like, yeah, we're good with it. Or no, please don't do that. So there's a mechanism there to allow that to happen, because it's the new people who will eventually be inheriting that anyway. So while the current ownership group, the Seidlers, technically have to make that choice, they would only make it with serious input from the incoming ownership group. So they'd still be technically making the decision. It would just be going through the people who actually have the vote right now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Jose and Kwanzaa have AJ's cell phone number. So,
Yes, I would not doubt that at all.
They could shoot some texts like, hey, there's a race car. It's going to cost us 4 M&Ms. You comfortable with us giving up 4 M&Ms for this race car? Whatever conversion rate or translation is needed. So I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I don't know how much of an impact it'll have from that standpoint. I hope your doomsday scenario, while it does make sense, like you don't have to squint too hard to kind of understand where you're coming from. That would be owners always. I mean, I shouldn't say owners always. Often it feels like, just given the experience from a few years ago, like doesn't always paint owners in the greatest light. Something like that would be like, come on, guys. I get you need every single bargaining chip
proven time and again, they don't care about the state of the game. They care about their pocketbooks.
Yeah,
that's why we were so lucky to have Peter Seidler, because he was so into community and team and wanting to put something together for San Diego and to win. He wanted to win. Owners the vast majority of owners, especially in Major League Baseball, are not like that. They care about themselves and their bottom line, and they just don't want to take a risk to win for the fan base and the community in which they've made a home. It's selfishness and fear and cowardice. That's really what it is. And the vast majority of Major League Baseball owners operate this way. So it makes the Dodgers so damn dangerous. Walter's like, I don't care. Do it. We want titles here. That's why Joe Lacob was so dangerous with the Warriors. I don't care. I want titles. I want titles. They just that's what they do.
Samuel.
It's so disheartening.
From Samuel, serious question. We're going to have so much time to talk about this nonsense. Who has the heart of the ball club? We have our captains, our skippers, and all that. Who is leading the team with levity and relaxation? Oh, who is leading the team, I think, is the fair question. And I do think there's something to that. Like, during these hard times, who is Kevin Acey had the piece about Gavin Sheets, like connecting guys, bringing people together. He's the person that hangs out with everybody, yada, yada, yada. Like, who's planning the golf outing? Who's planning like the dinner and the night out, getting drinks? They had a night out or night off or two in Philly. Like, who's the person when they're on the road, like getting the team together? Like, we're going through it, so we're going to go, zip lining as a team. We're gonna go. I don't know why.
I think that violates their contracts.
Who's gonna
much like getting on motorcycles in the Dominican?
Who's gonna plan the go hang gliding as a team? Who's gonna anyways, the golf outing, the night out and drinks, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Is it Craig Stammen?
It shouldn't be Craig Stammen. It probably maybe used to be Craig Stammen. It shouldn't be Craig Stammen anymore.
No, it should not be him anymore. You're right. Gavin's doing a great job of that. I know. And Gavin's a guy, and you see it when you walk around the clubhouse, he's in every corner of the clubhouse. He's talking to the relievers. He's talking to the starters. He's talking to the outfielders. He's talking to the infield. He's got a buddy in every corner of the clubhouse. He's walking around talking, saying hi to everybody. Right. Joe Musgrove is that guy for the pitchers. And I think Joe has kind of been neutralized because he's having so much trouble with his arm. I think it's probably taken a lot of his focus now and just getting himself right so he can help this team. Maybe that other part of it has kind of fallen off a little bit. Other than that, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm not saying by any stretch there's a disconnect on this team or guys aren't getting along. Maybe it just doesn't have that one unifying thing yet that kind of galvanizes everyone and has everybody pushing, pulling in the same direction. Maybe that part just hasn't happened yet. I don't know.
From Chris again, the roster is showing why it wasn't Victor Rodriguez's fault for lack of offense last season. Astros hitting 245 as a team, Padres hitting 218 as a team collectively. Yeah. Who knows? We never really know what to do with a hitting coach. I do wonder if it reaches a certain point where like somebody's got to be accountable for something. And you might convince yourself that like it's not this person's fault. It's not this person's fault. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying we're at this point now, but you might reach a point if this continues for a few more weeks, month, whatever, where like you have to make a change for making a change sake.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you feel like this probably isn't fair, but this is what we have to do. Like that happens.
Does that apply to Craig Stammen as well?
I could apply to any number of people, and Craig Stammen certainly.
Not Ruben Niebla. He's good. We all know he's good. We all know he's fine. Things are going great with Craig. And I'm not a big fan of making knee-jerk reactions and changing stuff, right? I think Craig would be a knee-jerk reaction. He's shown that the guys like him. He's making very good, for the most part, in-game decisions, and he's evolving as a manager. He's made changes. He's learned from things. I'm very encouraged by that. The offense, however, Souza has not shown like there's not a lot. There is not a lot here. And there's more talents than results. And that's a little scary.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot more talent than results. And it is a lot scary.
Let me look at something real fast. How many times have they scored double-digit runs in a game this year? 1, 2. Freaking 2?
2.
How many times they score more than at least 5 runs in a game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 times. They scored at least 5 runs in a game.
Not enough
18 times. Not enough times. Now, how many times have they scored 2 or fewer? I don't have time to count that much.
We're going to be here for a long time.
A long time.
I think they scored 2 or fewer at least 18 times in the last 2 weeks.
Which is amazing, the fact there are 14 days in 2 weeks. And I would still agree with you because that's what it feels like.
Yeah, 100% what it feels like. I will say this. This is my worry. Bats get going again. They're in a bunch of close games. Jeremiah Estrada gives up a run in a 7-6 game. Jason Adam gives up a couple home runs in a 6-4 game. Adrian Morejon gives up a 3 spot in a 8-6 game. Outside of Mason Miller, how good is this bullpen?
It's again pretty good. By the way, 24 times they've scored 2 or fewer runs. 24 times.
They've played 61 games, 62 games.
More than 1/3 of their games, the offense has scored 2 runs or fewer.
Sheesh.
That's bad. That's bad. Now here's the overall bullpen has been very good. The ERA problems. Wandy Peralta is a big part of it. Going to elevation for a couple times has been a big part of it. Mason Miller's been great. Jason Adam coming back from an injury has been a part of it. Jeremiah Estrada getting hurt has been a big part of it.
Morejon. Did you already say Morejon?
Yeah, Morejon, just something's a little bit off with him. I think he'll eventually figure it out. These guys have not been nearly as dominant as they were last year, and they're still a very good bullpen. Ron Marnacchio has been very good. When David Morgan gets back, he'll be very good. You got like they've got pieces in the bullpen that we know are going to be more consistent than anything else. The problem is, how many times has the bullpen been out there? Like I remember talking to Bob Scanlon about this. He was a reliever for a time during his career. There's a big difference in strain for a bullpen arm in a 1-run game and a 4-run game, right? You come out there and you got a 4-run lead and you're trying to, basically get things to the end. Very different than you're out there in a tie game, up by 1, down by 1. That physically is much more taxing than when the offense gives you a few runs to play with and your pitcher just, your starter puts in a good outing, but runs out of pitches, hits his pitch count, gets through 6, whatever it is, right? These relievers are in there and it's every single game, every pitch is high leverage. And that grinds on you, and it grinds on you quickly. And again, that's an indictment of the offense. So I think a lot of these guys are already starting to, and Craig Stam has talked about this, they're starting to, you can see some wear and tear on them. Not so much that they've had to throw so many innings, but every inning they throw is a stressful inning, right? Like they cannot give up and out. That's more, that takes more energy out of you than when you're out there with a 4-run lead and you're like, cool, I can just execute my pitches and we'll be good.
You're right. I'm just putting it out there as a bit of a concern, because it's not been it's not the root of the
it's a concern, but I think it's not a concern for a different reason.
It's not the biggest concern right now. It's just something that's I've noticed a little bit that's kind of in the back of my mind. The clock has kind of caught up on me here, Derek. Time flies when you're having fun talking about a lousy baseball team.
Oh, we got to go.
We got to go. So, hey, appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you, JDS Third. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. It's all we can do at this time. It's been a rough go.
We're leaving you with that. JDS, you have converted me. Thank you. Thank you for the, you know what? We got to end on a positive. End on a positive. Hit a 3 and walk off.
See you guys next week.